Hello everyone. So this is the lecture for the conductor. As I mentioned in our last Zoom meeting, uh, the conductor gets one lecture for himself, and I'm just going to explain a couple of things or a few things that might not be found mostly in books even, but you could further your reading, of course, and it'd be great if you could do that. But I'm just going to tell you a few pointers, and of course, I'm gonna have to go back again to the conductor sometime next week when we talk about the rhythm and the expressions and dynamics, because that's what also the conductor has to do. A conductor for any classical or Western classical ensemble, or even for Arabic music ensemble, is a person that is supposed to be looked at and regarded all the time to make sure that the musical work comes out according to his or her vision. So the conductor's vision, that means a director or a conductor is just like a director of a movie. Um, we've all seen, like for instance, movies or plays of Shakespeare's, masterpieces. Let take Hamlet for instance. There are a dozen, at least a dozen of directors that directed the same movie, the same story, the same script, the same pretty much everything. But each person had to have his own input into that masterpiece. So in other words, you have to stick to a couple of things or a few things to make sure that you are following what is written down or what has been said or has been documented. Yet you have to add a little bit extra. You could add a little bit extra in the way of casting or choosing the actors or arranging the setting for the movie or probably changing the time period or even having to do stuff with things with the music or the lighting or a lot of different things, but you would never have to or find a director that changed anything in the story. Otherwise it's not going to be given the same exact title. So it's the same thing for a conductor. A conductor conducting, for instance, a Beethoven symphony. Beethoven Symphony Number 5 is a masterpiece. Everybody knows it. Pa 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 pum, pa 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 pum. It's known for that. That's the starting couple of notes of that. And when you, of course, you get to hear it, every orchestra has the same music, the same texts basically, or the same sheet or the same parts. Then what a conductor has to do is accumulating all the different or past experiences that other conductors or the performance practice or the going trends that happened before, and put all that together and add to it his or her own vision regarding the music, as in controlling the tempo, controlling the pace of the music, I mean, or also controlling the how loud or soft the music should be played. I'm using generic terms for now, so we'll get back to that later with the elements, and I'm going to use that with as well. So I'm going to actually have more to add to that. A conductor is always going to have his or her own way of expressing the music according to their own experience with it, and also the everything that's been done to it, as far as adding instruments or adding more, let's say, for instance, more violins, or even doubling in the winds or doubling the brass, or arranging how the orchestra is going to sit. Sometimes they change that, so instead of having the first and second violin sitting next to each other, they put them on different ends, and put the lower pitched string instruments in the middle. So basically, is like a part of it is like a sound engineer. Remember something, conductor conducting a live or instrumental work with no aid of microphones or any of that, has to actually adjust to the place where they're going to actually perform that work, and also has his own input in the multiplications of instruments, or how they're supposed to sit, or if they're sitting on risers or not. I've experienced that myself, where a conductor will to sit and listen to the orchestra and then decide that he's going to actually have the trumpets or trombones not sitting on risers because of the projection issues, that he sees it to be too much, so he wants it even less. Lots of things that has to do with that. So he's like a sound, like today's sound engineer, that has to adjust a lot of things to make sure that it sounds right with no help of any electronics. Now, there are three stages for any given conductor. That conductor first has to have the all the preparation done for that work. So they got to study, before actually pursuing or go into an orchestra, not necessarily theirs, and make sure that they're really looking into everything theoretically and everything as far as music or the sound that's coming out and all that. And the second stage is a conductor during rehearsals. So a conductor during rehearsals has to always talk to the concertmaster regarding the bowing, talk to the for the strings regarding the breathing, for phrasing issues. It's kind of like a choir, you gotta breathe together, you gotta sound together like one, and and also he is to dictate how you are to play your line of music. So for as a musician, or for me personally as a horn player, I don't really add anything more than what a conductor asks me to do. I have to be flexible with each and every conductor, because one day a conductor comes in to play this piece, the next month or so another conductor comes in to play the very same piece. I'm not going to actually sound the same, because a conductor has each conductor has his or her own way of interpreting this music. So the conductor has to basically tell every instrument how he wants the music to sound, and how he wants to, and that he does with cueing in each and every entrance for the different or the various instruments that play solos, and or playing the main melody, or even the instruments that are playing in the counter melody, or filling in for the main line, and he always has to really work on that. He cues in players, and he also makes sure to, with the percussions, to let them know how he wants them to sound. The choice of sticks, or the choice of mallets, if he wants it harder or softer. He gets to do all that during rehearsals. Last is during a performance, actually doing everything exactly like it was done in rehearsals and adjusted and everything. So basically, the performance is only the tip of the iceberg for you when you get to watch a concert. A conductor, or a good conductor, has to actually get all that put together and not to forget anything. And of course, making sure that, if I were to tell you I'm going to cue you in here, I'm going to do that in the concert. Otherwise, things are not just going to go right. Uh, there is always, oh, sorry, I have my dog here. She wants to say hi. So that's the conductor, and we're gonna go back again to the conductor when we get to talk about the dynamics and the tempo or pace for the music. But I just wanted to tell you guys how a conductor is always regarded. Of course, there are other conductors that you just see on many concerts that we've seen. A conductor just walks in and give you the gestures and just keeps the tempo for you always all the time, just going up and down or whatever, as we'll get to explain that later. But always, that's not the conductor to look at. And a conductor like that is a conductor just goes with the flow, like we say. So orchestras, they always look at the conductor and always have a value for each and every conductor that walks in, because each one, everyone is not going to be the same. So it's kind of like a horse rider. If the horse knows that you're not really a good rider, he's just going to carry on and go his way, the way he wants to go. But if he knows that the conductor knows really what he's doing, then he's going to follow and make sure that he's always, keeping the pace and keeping everything just like the conductor wants or the rider wants him to do. So that's the conductor, and I'm going to send you guys, just as a reminder, this weekend, probably Friday or Saturday maximum, I'm going to send you guys the assignment for you to write, like we've discussed, and also the video for you to watch. And I promise you again, it's going to be a really fun video. Thank you very much and have a great day. Bye.